another episode of Chillin with the Girls.
Yeah.
What episode is this, Tish?
This
I know
is
it's season 2, episode 9.
Yes.
Welcome. Absolutely. So we have for our guest tonight, Mr. Jim McFarland, and we call him Gentleman Jim. And Mr. Jim is a master tailor. So that just lets us know that he is the best at what he does.
True
He's
that.
the best.
Okay.
What'd you say, Mr. Jim?
I said true that.
True that.
Right. So one of the things that we observe in the month of July is sewing. So we have Mr. Jim on here because this is the month that we observe sewing. So he is a master tailor. And I just want to introduce him. Now, Mr. Jim, he went to high school. His high school was a designer high school. And that's where he, got his start. Mm-hmm. Right, Mr. Jim?
The high school of fashion industry.
The high school of fashion. Come on.
The high school of fashion industry is at 225 24th Street, Lower Manhattan.
Oh, wow. So it's still there?
Yes, it is.
Get out of here.
The high school of fashion industry was brokered in the 30s.
Okay.
It was a high school, a public high school. It's a free high school. And it was broken in to teach students the apparel trade as a feeder to the garment industry. It's the only high school of its kind in the world.
Wow.
Well, it's the biggest high school in New York City. It's 10 stories high. And it taught, when I went there, it taught the entire apparel industry trade.
Wow.
Right now, but I got it all.
Oh, wow. That's excellent. Totally excellent. Now, what was I about to say? So, people call you Gentleman Jim, right? Where did that name come from? Gentleman Jim.
Believe it or not, that name came to me by a little Jewish man who I met in the 60s. When I met him, and as of even today, I still refer to male and female as sir and ma'am.
Okay.
Every time he would see me, and I would, sir, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. He said, Jim, he said, you're a perfect gentleman. Mm-hmm. I told him, I said, well, that's where I was brought up. Mm-hmm. He said, well, everybody doesn't do that. I said, I'm not everybody. I said, my parents taught me to respect, which is something that is lost in today's world, respect.
Yeah. So sad.
My parents taught me to respect people. I did then, I always will. Mm-hmm. And I tell people, the name Gentleman Jim is not a little cutesy name, like everybody got a little cute name. I said, I earned that name and I have to uphold it.
Okay.
I know that's right.
Wow.
I know that's right.
Good.
Yeah. So I just want people to know a little bit about Mr. Jim. If you don't know, you're about to find out that Mr. Jim have made clothes for Duke Ellington. Am I right?
Oh.
Right on.
Muhammad Ali.
Right on.
James Brown.
So you're right.
And who else? Who else have you made clothes for? I know those, but who else?
Okay. I'll give you a little brief of some of them.
Okay.
Some of you guys might not have heard of, but I also made clothes for Jackie Robinson.
Okay.
Wow.
If you guys are not familiar with a gentleman, A. Philip Randall, who founded the Sleeping Car Quarters, a very civil rights advocate.
Okay.
Lyad Rustin, who was Martin Luther King's right-hand man.
Wow.
I've done Billy Strayhorn, who was Duke Ellington's writer.
Okay.
I've done the Isley Brothers, Sam and Dave, I've done James and Bobby Purify. Older people might know who James and Bobby Purify are. But the list is on because we were right next door to the Apollo Theater. So the majority of the acts that came in, we covered.
Wow. Yeah, I remember you were talking about like those big old loud suits with the different colors and the pleats and stuff. You guys came out with those?
We actually started that. There had never been men's tailored suits in pastel colors. And at that particular time, there was a manufacturer of cloth. Well, no, not manufacturers. Well, yes, they were. And they were called Gladstone of England. And we used to buy a lot of superfine mohair wool suits, shark skin, but they only made them in kind of drab colors. And we asked them, would they make some hot colors? They didn't know what we were really talking about. Well, we asked them, they started with 6 colors.
Okay.
Was pink, red, yellow, royal blue, purple, and lime green.
Wow.
And nobody had ever made suits in those colors. And we did. And I tell the story because I want people to understand. Orange Custom Tailoring on 125th Street, we were the pioneers of that. That was 1965. At that particular time, there was a gentleman who had a hit song at the Apollo. He was all over, but he was performing at the Apollo Theater. And he came and he asked us, give me something new. Well, the brother's name was Johnny Thunder. Y'all might not know who Johnny Thunder is.
I don't know who Johnny Thunder is. I'm sorry.
You know who he is, Mama?
No, I don't.
But I'm going to
Johnny
give
Thunder.
his song and then you'll understand. His song was, Here We Go Loop-de-Loo. Here we go.
Really? Here we go, loop-de-loo.
Now, the reason why I say that, Johnny Thunder was a well-built brother,
Okay.
black as tar, pretty. Had processed hair, he had his concholine hair. Mama, you know about that, don't you?
Yeah.
Your daughters, they don't know about conch hair.
Yeah.
Process. That's what you call them. Your process. But he was a real good-looking black man, and we made a pink suit for him. So imagine this dark-skinned brother. He was darker than Nat King Cole, but he was a good-looking man. He worked out, so he was well-built. And we made a pink suit for him while his song was a big hit. Here we go, loop-de-loo.
Wow.
Now, we had just started making these colored suits. And he started his show. Now, I was backstage at the Apollo. I had carte blanche getting in and out of the Apollo Theater because we did so many clothes for all of them. Knew the owners, everybody. And here he is singing that song, Here We Go, Loop-de-Loo. When he finished, he took his bow. Everybody was hollering. He's still bowing. Everybody's hollering. And finally, somebody said, Johnny, quit bowing. We want to know, where did you get that suit from?
All right.
Now, listen to me. He was the first one we made a suit for. It was Friday nights. People don't understand about the Apollo Theater. Shows started from Friday to Thursday, every night.
Okay.
So this was Friday night. Saturday morning, I sold 90 suits. Pink, yellow, red, purple. To who? The players.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
We all players. Saturday, I sold 90 suits for the players because they wore. If you people don't know what a pimp is,
Oh, yeah.
he was a player.
He was a player.
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 Mm-hmm.
Now, understand what I'm about to say. We were one of the most popular tailors in America. We were the only black manufacturer. We were the first black manufacturing company of clothing in America. We were.
Wow.
Started in the 60s. Now, why do I say that? Because 99% of our clientele didn't have regular jobs.
Okay.
They were street people. They were either ballers, they were players, they were drug dealers, they were number writers, they were real gangsters, and they were entertainers. I have a series on YouTube called A Brother from Harlem with the high school education. And I talk about the players because people don't know what a real player was. These were real players, real gangsters. But they wore those high color suits. Now, during that time of making these suits, we also made a lot of suits for Reverend Ike. And if y'all are familiar with Reverend Ike,
Yeah.
started him wearing those high color suits.
Wow.
Said it was called the Brothers from Harlem. What was
What's
that?
that?
He's called the brother from Harlem.
Oh, what's
The
name of
brother,
video?
the brother from Harlem with the high school education.
Yeah.
No,
Now those 90 suits you made, how long did it?
And the series is called The Brother from Harlem with the High School Education.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Well, that's on YouTube. And I have 54 episodes talking about all the bad guys. This whole series is on the bad guys.
Wow.
Right. Mom said, how long did it take you to make all of those suits?
Those 90 suits
that
for
you
those
sold.
guys.
Well, this is what happened to us. This is how we became. We had a system. Just remember I tell you about systems? We had a system where we outsourced in Manhattan a lot of our work. We cut the garments, but we had a coat manufacturer who manufactured them once we cut them. We had a pants manufacturer who made the pants once we cut them.
Okay.
We could send them. We could send our shipment in Monday. We'd have it back Friday.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Wow.
As years progressed, you're using that system. My mentor, who's a brother, as years progressed, we decided to cut out the middleman. We then got into the manufacturing across the board of making them as well as cut. Now we made them in-house, but when we were overloaded, we outsourced them to what we call jobbers.
Okay.
And this was about 65 or right around 65 or 66. And my mentor at that particular time decided, let's just do the whole thing. So we went from, in 1 year, we went from a 3-man operation, because it was just 3 of us, to 22 employees in 1 year.
Wow.
That was good.
Wow.
And we became suit manufacturers at that point. That's how I learned how to manufacture. Now, even though I worked in the garment industry briefly, I knew how it was done, but I never knew the whole hands-on of how they did it.
Okay. So then you were able to just do it yourself.
We did it. Then, and by us having control of it, we get a player would come in on a Monday, we have a suit for him by Wednesday.
Wow.
Yes, too.
That is incredible. That is incredible. Wow. So I was trying to find Johnny Thunder, but I didn't see him. I didn't find him.
One.
All you gotta do is put in, here we go, loop-de-loop.
Here we go, loop-de-loop.
Oh,
Here we go.
yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I was about to. I didn't. So Mr. Jim, were you
People don't understand, a lot of times you hear songs, you don't really know who the artist is.
That's true.
Now, don't get me wrong, that was his only hits, big hit. He was one of those one-hit wonders. Now, he had some other songs, but that was his biggest.
Okay. Yeah. So Mr. Jim, were you born in Harlem?
No, I was born in New York. I was actually born in Jamaica, Queens.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I was born in Jamaica, Queens.
Okay.
My family moved to Harlem in 1954. So my series really picks up Harlem from 1954.
Okay. Wow.
My introduction to the Apollo Theater, I was 10 years old when we moved to Harlem. My induction to the Apollo Theater, now don't get me wrong, prior to me moving to Harlem, I didn't know where Harlem was. And I lived in the city. Because if you didn't live in certain areas, you didn't know about certain areas.
Okay.
So I got a first-hand look of what Harlem was about. And one of my partners who I grew up with, he said, let's go across 125th Street. I didn't know what was 125th Street, just a street to me, until I saw it. That's where the magic began.
Wow.
Everyone started seeing Harlem and the people of Harlem really up close and personal. Now, I'm a storyteller, but I tell these stories for a reason. There's a generation that don't know anything about what Harlem was about.
Right.
And that's when I wrote my book, Across 125th Street, When the Magic Was Real. I said, well, why do you suppose the magic was real? I said, if you grew up in that time, you'd understand what I was talking about. Harlem was not as bad as people thought it was. There was a stigma on Harlem because it was Harlem. Harlem was one of the most, what could I say? More than the magic was real. It was like Disney World.
Wow.
Street people, there was always music all around you. The players were sporting their clothes. The gals were wearing their fine rags. Old players, young players, old men, we wore hats, we wore suits. We were really dressed. Ladies dressed all the time.
Wow.
You know, let me just put this on.
It seemed like it was gangster town or something in Harlem.
Yeah, I grew
with
up.
the gangsters.
I never wore a pair of jeans till I was 30 years old.
Really?
Suits? Yes, suits?
Ma'am?
You wore
She said
suits?
you wore suits?
That's all I ever wore.
Wow. Are you kidding?
Never wore a pair of jeans. I didn't wear a pair of jeans till I moved to Atlanta, Georgia.
Wow.
Some female friends of mine decided, we tired of you wearing suits all the time. They bought me 2 pair of jeans.
Sounds like me, guys.
Years. They start wearing jeans after I had some.
Wow, that's funny. You know, Mel was saying, my sister Mel was saying that Harlem was like portrayed as like a place of a bunch of gangsters.
That's
And
what I'm
a bunch
talking
of
about. But
violence and all of that.
anyway, they were there, but these were regular people.
Yeah.
These were
Yeah.
regular. If you didn't know they were a gangster, you wouldn't know they were a gangster because they were dressed. Okay. They only became identifiable when we started making those colored suits. Prior to that, they look like, let me tell you something. Not only did we have the hustlers, but we had hustlers that you would never thought were hustlers.
Wow.
We had 2 clients of ours that were bona fide hitmen. They killed people for a living.
No.
Yes, ma'am. We had the biggest dope dealers. We had con men.
Wow.
We had sneak thieves, or we used to call cat burglars, who would break into your house.
No.
Because they the only ones with money.
Everybody under the sun was a client of ours because of we made clothes for them.
Oh, okay. Wow. Wow. Isn't that something? So what made you want to go to the fashion school?
Could you ask that? Because I'm still in it. I went to the High School of Fashion Industry because my mother couldn't afford as her children, I wanted to dress like the big boys.
Okay.
And my mother couldn't afford to buy those things. I was going to school to become a doctor.
What?
That's what I wanted me to be, as a doctor.
Mhm.
So I went to the high school of fashion industry, not to be in this industry, but to be able to make my clothes.
Oh.
I said, well, I'll learn how to make them. I never in my life sewn until I went to that school.
Wow. And you didn't even have an interest. It was just that you wanted to make your own clothes.
That's all I wanted to do.
Wow. And now look at how many people's clothes you have made.
Yeah.
And it became your passion.
Master Tailor.
Look. After learning the craft,
Uh-huh.
and now everybody was going off to college. No, going into the industry. Why? I didn't know how lucrative it was until I got into it.
Wow.
How much money tailors made compared to doctors, lawyers, and Indian chiefs?
Wait, you said compared to doctors?
What's that, honey?
You said compared to doctors?
Yeah.
What?
And besides, they have a big college bill. He didn't have a college bill.
And he was making them for thugs and pimps. They had money.
He didn't have a college debt. He didn't have. He
Yeah,
went to
that's
free
right.
school.
Doctors, educators. I made that kind of money the first year.
Whoa.
I
Wow.
made a lot of money.
That is wow, incredible. Wow. So now are you at a place where you have any of this clothes that you made?
You mean where you can see something?
Right,
Oh,
right.
no, I'm in my sister's new place.
See, we gonna get you.
Moved in.
Oh, but
I'm gonna
see,
get
the
you.
second episode, he's coming on the second episode.
Yeah, he gotta come back.
I do know what it looks like. Absolutely.
I
Well,
Absolutely.
you want to know.
But
But we'll
I
get you
know what it
back.
looks like.
You'll get you back. I like the
That's
story
right. He's gonna
tonight.
come back. But you know what?
Okay.
You
You'll
Yeah.
go to my website. You can see a lot of the clothes.
yeah, absolutely. Yep, absolutely.
But that's the way it was. And I'm very proud of what I've done.
Mhm.
And I take great pride in what I do. But when I first, I never thought I'd be in it. That was 1961 when I got into this industry, and I'm still doing it.
Wow. Wow.
So how's the
That-
industry now? What's the comparison of then and now with the industry? Can you hear
I
me?
can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me?
No, I've lost you somewhat too.
Oh no, Mr. Jim, that's not good. So my mom was saying, what's the comparison of the industry then and the industry now?
Oh boy,
Okay, hold
I
on.
don't want to hit a button and lose you guys.
Oh, wait a minute, hold up. Let me take you off the speaker. Let me see if I can get you back. Hold up. Yeah, don't hit a button yet. Okay, can you hear me? Oh, wow. I don't know what happened. We lost Mr. Jim, guys.
On mute. See if his phone is on.
No. Did you put your phone on mute, Mr. Jim?
What's that?
Did you put your phone on mute?
Hold on.
Because I can't hear you. Well, I can hear you, but can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay, good. So my mom was saying, what's the comparison of the industry then and now?
Biggest comparison?
Mhm.
Real clothes. We made real clothes. This little throwaway clothes that they make today, because that's what they are. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm so sad about what the industry is doing.
Okay.
Is that they have all these designers who used to make good clothes. They don't make them anymore. They could care less about the general public. That's why I work so hard, educating my students on the way they should be made,
Okay.
making sure that we make good clothes so that as a consumer, when you buy something from us, you know it's made well. When Tawana, when you were there, I had a gentleman fly in from Miami to bring clothes to me. And some of them were suits I made for him 30 years ago.
Wow.
Wow.
30 years ago. See, we make them the old-fashioned way, the way they should be made. I teach my students how to make them that way. I still make them, and I'll never stop.
Yeah. So when I went to Mr. Jim, well, first of all, I found Mr. Jim on YouTube. I was like, wow, and his stories just captivated me and fascinated me. And I was like, I have got to meet him because he is going to teach me what he knows.
You never met him before?
I hadn't met him before.
Wow.
I hadn't met him before. I went on YouTube, and at that time you had a show with Victoria. It was the Master Tailor and the Dressmaker.
Victoria is his daughter.
Victoria is not. Victoria is one of his students.
Who is Victoria?
One of his students. Yeah.
She was also a woman. She ran me down. She said I kept trying to befriend you and you wouldn't befriend me.
Oh, Mr. Jim, that's not nice.
I love her like a daughter.
Yeah, I'm sure.
She said I wouldn't befriend her. So she ran me down in Savannah. And she said, look, I'm trying to learn from you. I said, well, okay. She said, I've been trying to get you to befriend me for years. I said, I don't befriend everybody. I just don't.
Yeah, yeah.
I keep my relationship in social media strictly business.
Okay.
I don't have time to show my dog or this coffee or whatever cake I made like people do. So I don't have time for that. I use the social media strictly for business.
Yeah.
If you want to be my friend, holla at me.
Holla.
You just said, but I don't have time to gossip or things like that. So I use social media strictly for business.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so I reached out to Mr. Jim and to Victoria, and I was like, these are the most sweetest people in the world. Oh man. And I hadn't even really talked to them. It was just through emails, but just through emails, it was like, they came across so special and so sweet. I was like, I have to meet them, And so I, finally called him on the phone, and he called me back, and I was telling him that I wanted to, learn under him. And he was like, well, darling, just get a date, set a date. And when you put your down payment on, that's your date. And, a one whole week, just, him and just me, and we had a ball. We had a ball, and it was like, when I went to Georgia, it was like, I had known Mr. Jim all my life.
Wow.
I just felt like I had known him all my life.
Yeah.
I could just be me, just be who I was and not be fake, And Mr. Jim taught me how to make a shirt.
Oh, okay.
You know what else he taught me that I didn't know? It was, there's a difference between a set in sleeve and a set on sleeve. So this is like, right, this is the sleeve, right? This is a sleeve, right?
Yeah.
So when I have this sleeve and I sew it into the shoulder,
Right.
that's a set in sleeve. And I meant to show you guys, and a set on sleeve is when you don't have a sleeve, you just have, it's all the way open.
Oh, okay.
And you sew it on to the garment.
Oh.
And it becomes a sleeve. Is that correct, Mr. Jim?
Correct? Yeah.
So you don't have anything, Tawanda? You don't have an example to show us?
I do. So I have this one shirt, Mr. Jim, I almost finished it. Not quite though. This is a shirt I made for my husband. See, I did the collar, I did the buttons.
Nice.
And the buttonholes and the cuff, but I had to finish putting the button on the cuff though.
Okay.
I hemmed it up, Mr. Jim. So you're gonna be proud of me.
Where's the pocket? You got a pocket?
2 pockets right in the front. 2 pockets.
Okay.
Yes.
How is
So
that,
when
Mr. Jim? How is that,
So-
Mr. Jim? How did she do? How did Tawanda do?
Let me tell you something. I tell everybody, that comes my way, if you know basics of sewing, I can teach you how to get real good. The reason why I say that is sewers lack the techniques, not the sewing, the techniques. Sewing is technique, not sewing. Because sewing is real basic, but they don't know how to formulate that into any type of garment. I hear people talk all the time, I can make this, but I can't make that. I can do this, but I can't. That's it. Well, you just don't know the techniques. There is nothing that the human race has ever made that didn't have some type of blueprint. We're learning as we look back in history, look at the architectural blueprint that the primitive, into the Egyptians, they had to have blueprints to make all that stuff.
Right.
Clothing was done the same way. The biggest thing I say all the time, trust me when I say it all the time, the clothing industry is never praised for what we do.
Wow.
It's never praised for what we do. Cecil B. DeMille made all them biblical pictures, and all the creators of movie pictures never give sewing any credit. Why?
That's so true.
You think two little ladies made all those uniforms for the Roman army and the Greek gods and the women? And two little ladies didn't do that. It took a whole industry to make clothes. When you go all the way back to the cave people, and all of a sudden you got a movie about cave people, they all had clothes on, didn't they?
That's right.
There were no two little ladies in the corner, so you had to think and put all this together. You talk about, the reason why I talk so highly on the clothing industry, that's the first industry ever built. People don't look at it that way. Why? God created humans and he made them naked, and he commanded them to clothe that naked body. And because they clothed that naked body, an industry was built. Adam and Eve could pick fruit and vegetables off the trees, but they were naked. And as they became fruitful and multiplied, somebody had to make all those clothes. But you never hear of the team that made them.
You're right.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Right.
That is so, you never hear about the sewing industry way back then. You are right, Mr. Jim.
You know, look, when Moses supposedly freed the slaves and they were leaving Egypt, right? And they showed the caravan of people, and they had horses and cows and chickens, the tree and plant that they were going to plant when they got to the, sewing kits.
But you know, Mr. Jim, it said that the women made those drapes that was in the tabernacle. It say women did the sewing. Now that's in the scripture. Did they give us some credit for sewing?
But not
Right, but he's talking about the industry.
Like the industry of sewing.
industry.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah,
About
absolutely.
it. We just,
Yes.
we take
But
it
you
for
know they
granted.
were there, they didn't mention it. They
Right,
downplayed
we
something.
take it for granted. And when you have somebody who's passionate, about it, it was like, no, they didn't mention us at all.
Right.
That's right. Now, I have a funny story real quick.
Okay.
Now, I made this outfit, right?
Right when you showed me these
It was so cute.
So cute.
That was cute.
Yes.
I made this
Loved
black
it.
and white. It's a pants outfit, right, y'all? This is so funny. This is too funny. Now, I said, I'm going to take this with me to Georgia when I meet Mr. Jim. So I took the outfit. I left it at the hotel. I didn't take it right away. I left it at the hotel, but I showed him a picture of it on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys, the first thing he said was, "You know what's wrong with that?"
You can tell from the phone, the picture on
From the picture on the
Wow.
phone.
Lord,
He
jeez.
said, "You know what's wrong with that?" I said, "Yes, I know it's a whole lot of stuff wrong with it." I said, I just made it. I was rushing, and it was for our photo
Photo
shoot,
shoot.
right?
Uh-huh.
So I said it was good enough for the photo shoot. I was so proud of my belt. You guys, I was so proud of this
We all
belt.
wanted her to make us one. We were like, "Can you make me one?"
Right.
Wait a minute, hold up. Listen. I was so proud of my belt, right? I was like, look at this belt, right? Black and white. Oh man. Then I told Mr. Jim, I said, I'm gonna bring this outfit tomorrow, right? To the studio. So I brought the outfit, and the first thing he did was tear into my belt. Now you see what you did? I said, get my belt.
You gotta respect your elders, Tawanda. They not teach you better than that. Stop.
Give me my belt. But then he did show me some things that I had done wrong on the outfit, and you're not gonna believe what he told me.
What?
Go home, make another one, and throw that one away.
Oh
Give it to me. I can't fit it. I need some more material to put
What
on
was
there.
wrong with it? Can you show us, Tawanda? Can you show us what was wrong with it?
Oh, it was a lot. Now check this out. This
There's
is
a
so
couple of
funny.
things. Yeah.
It's a lot of things wrong with it.
Okay.
But one of the things was when I showed Mr. Jim the back. Can y'all see the back?
Yep.
Yeah.
When I showed him the back, he said, "You made that too small, didn't you? You add those little panels and make it bigger."
Oh, wow.
I said, "I sure did." It
He's
was so
an
funny.
expert.
Yeah. So it's and then right in here where I didn't sew it correctly in here, it was like it was gathered, But that you guys, I made this without a pattern.
Wow.
I didn't even have a pattern when I made that.
Okay.
So but I could have done better. And I will do better, Mr. Jim. You will be proud of me.
I already am, because when you call me, I'm still mentor people after I'm through with them.
Mhm.
You call me because you needed to know what, and I tell you what.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. That's right.
I approach what I do with my students like this.
Mhm.
I want you to be proud of you, so I can be proud of you.
Oh.
Your success is my success, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Make me feel good to know that the knowledge that I give you, you can take it, use it, and you can advance your life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The talent that I have, I tell everybody, it's not me.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Holy Spirit. God gave me this talent, but He gave it to me to share. A lot of them don't share it. I'm sharing because I didn't come here with it, and I'm going to leave without. So as many people as I can bless teaching them this, I will.
Yeah.
I'll never stop.
Yeah. So how many students do you think you've had down through the years?
Hundreds. I don't know. Could be thousands.
Woo!
They come and they go.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. I've had a lot of failures too.
Wow.
I've had a lot of failures.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had a lot of failures for one reason and one reason alone. They were not sincere.
Okay.
I was sincere about teaching them.
Mm-hmm.
They were not sincere.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people, the clothing industry is a glamorous industry. Lights, cameras, action, red carpet, bells and whistles.
Yeah.
Everybody say they want to do this, but that's because of this and not this.
Yeah.
That's important. Yeah.
That's
It has
good.
to come from your inner, not your mind. Your mind is going to tell you what to do, but it's going to only link up if this is pure. And if that's pure, you can become very, very good. I can't tell you how many testimonials that I have through the years, how many people that have taken the business that they made out of it and have taken it to another level.
Wow.
How many people that said, I just want to do it like I did, just to make me some clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And found that there was an industry within it.
Yeah.
We're at a point now where what big manufacturers charge for whatever they produce, and it's not good. And I call them all out because you can't charge a person that kind of money and give them not a good garment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you can make the good garment if you're going to charge them that kind of money.
Yeah.
I don't want to see nobody that does well not get their just due.
Mr.
And
Jim.
I have a lot of them out there that are getting their just due.
Wow. Yeah. My sister has a question,
We
Mr.
have a
Jim.
question. Hey, Kathy. Minister Kathy's here. She wants to know if you make minister garments for the 2022 era. She would like to give you some business.
If I may,
Minister's garments for the 2022 era.
are you a minister?
You should address you to Wanda though, Tish, because it says,
I
sister,
believe.
do you make minister garment?
Oh, it does say sister.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say
Probably
they are
asking you,
ministers,
Tawanda.
Mr. Jim. Yeah, they are ministers.
Well, see, right now, but the funny thing about that,
Thanks, Mel.
I like to specialize in ladies' clothes.
Mhm.
Right. Just last week, one of my business partners introduced me to a minister, him and his wife.
Wow.
Who came to the studio because he did a leather vest. You know, we do the motorcycle thing. And her husband was a preacher and she was a preacher. And she said, do you? I said, well, I'll take care of you. And her husband said, well, what about me? I said, I don't do preachers. I don't do preachers. I found through the years, now that's not totally true, so let me not say that all of them are like this. But I've had some of the biggest preachers in the world come to me to make clothes. Y'all know them by name, and I'm not going to name them. They know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I talked about respect.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't respect me, I don't need your business because God gives me all that I need.
Yeah.
And I've had too many big time preachers look at me in a subservient role
Wow.
and have wanted me to bow down.
What?
Like people run out to preachers, go, oh, I do clothes for such and such, and I do clothes for this. I ain't bowing down to you. This is a business transaction.
Right.
You treat me, I tell you why I say that. There was a time when people of color would ask for certain things, and we looked at them as if they couldn't do the job.
Mm-hmm.
But they would go to the Europeans,
That's
and
right.
whatever he said or she said, it was okay. But you run me through the ringer.
Wow.
That's respect. That's all I want is respect. Now, I'm good enough to tell you, I don't want your business. And I've told some of the biggest people in the world, I don't want your business because I don't really need it. Because they think that because they are who they are, that, oh, you're going to take it. Now, I'm going to take care of you.
Yeah, that's right. Because like you are somebody too, right?
And
Absolutely.
that's his ministry. So, Tawanda, do you make minister garments? Or
I haven't made any minister's garments yet, but you know, give me a minute and I will be making some minister's garments. So, but Mr. Jim also taught me about alterations, like this suit right here, Mr. Jim. I had to take this suit in, like at the shoulder, because it was too big at the shoulder. So I had to go in and take it out, and then you know just alter it that way.
Yeah.
And then also, oh, this is not spinning like the other one can spin. Also, like at the blade, when you do the shoulder at the blade, sometimes the blade is too big too. So I had to take it in at the blade, you know, and also like, you know how men have cleats at the back of this, those are called vents. So I had to, so this suit jacket was so big for this person.
Wow.
So I just took the vents out and it's put seams down here so to fit them here. But I'm not completely finished, but I have to do the sleeves, shorten the sleeves. And then I had to shorten the jacket itself because the jacket was so long. So I shortened it here, but now I'm finishing up on this side. So Mr. Jim showed me all of this, you guys, and he taught me so much. I was so excited, to be in his studio. And
how long?
One whole week. One whole week for all day long. All day long.
Minister Kathy says she's glad that she's not that type of person. She's only a servant. She said, "Thank you, Mr. Jim, for your honesty."
Absolutely.
We are all servants. We are all servants.
We are.
We are servants. We serve.
That's right.
Jesus was a servant. He served.
That's right. Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. So, Mr. Jim, your specialty is what? What is your specialty?
Right now,
Mm-hmm.
my specialty, like I said, I like to specialize in ladies' coats.
Okay.
Jackets,
Mm-hmm.
skirts, and pants.
Okay.
That's why we wore our blazers for you.
Ma'am?
We wore our blazers for you. That's why we wore our little.
Say, now, I've made everything in the world from underwear to formal gowns.
Wow.
Children's clothes.
Wow.
I made preacher robes once upon a time.
Okay.
I made fire robes once upon a time.
Wow.
And it's not that I can't do these things, it's I really make what I like to do.
Yeah. So,
but if it's something you want, I don't like to do, I'm sorry.
right. So what was your favorite thing that you've made? What was the favorite?
I'm gonna tell you guys a little story.
Okay.
This is the only creation that I ever created that was original. It had never been done before in the sewing industry.
Mm-hmm.
It was 1960 when I was still in school. And when you get towards your latter years in school, you have to come up with what they say. We have a big senior fashion show every year where the garment industry physically came to the school. Physically came. I'm talking about all the big shots. That's my little school in New York City, the high school fashion industry. I plug it all the time because it made me. And I had to come up with something creative. I never really was a good creator. What I was a craft person. And because I was a craft person, my stuff always came out perfect, but I couldn't think of something off the top of my head. But what I could do is I could set a zipper in. You couldn't see it. Long before they talked about invisible zippers, I was a zipper man.
Wow.
And for the show, I created a garment for my model to wear.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all listen to this. I was 16 years old.
Wait, 16?
Huh?
16 years old?
16, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
High school.
Why you want me to be older?
No, go ahead. Tell your story.
I was 16 years old, and I had to come up with something for the fashion show. Now, everybody had these elaborate everything. They maxed it out. If you guys think I'm kidding, go to YouTube and pull up the High School of Fashion Industry and look at some of the shows that they do.
Wow.
I'll back anyone against anybody.
Mm-hmm.
All that Paris stuff, skip that. These are high schoolers.
Wow.
But look, now I'm gonna tell you about my garment.
Mm-hmm.
You see that blazer you got on? I created what had never been done before in the fashion industry. I don't know nothing about concept patenting.
Mm-hmm.
You can't patent clothes, but you can patent the concept of it.
Right. Okay.
My little model came out, did the little runway thing, they go down the runway, they come back and they off, right?
Yeah.
Well, mine came halfway down. I mean, came all the way down, came halfway back up, turned around, went back to the end of the runway, and began to zip the sleeves off of her jacket.
Wow.
Zip her pants off and had shorts on.
Go ahead now.
It had never been done because the people in the garment industry don't. We never saw that before.
Wow.
Wow.
If I would have known something about patenting, concept patenting,
Yeah.
everybody in the world would owe me some money.
I know that's
Wow.
right.
Wow, that's right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Today, you can get it with zips off.
Yep.
Wow.
Can I say I'm a first? I can just tell you that. But nobody had ever done that.
Mhm.
Then as I got older, I realized something. This was 1960s. Zippers just became fashionable in the 50s.
Mm.
After that, everything buttoned off.
Okay.
Okay.
Or they had some kind of drawstring. They did not have Velcro back then. They did not have, they didn't have elastic in the beginning.
Oh, wow.
No, this is more of a new feature.
Okay.
Zippers were just beginning to become popular then.
Wow. Wow.
My first pants I had buttons on them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. No zippers.
No zippers.
Yeah.
No zippers.
That is funny. Wow. So where have you been in the world? Where have you traveled? Different countries and
Well, I've been in Europe. I've been in a lot of places in Europe.
Mhm.
I've been all in the Caribbean. There are places that I've always wanted to go to, but I don't.
Mhm. Mhm.
All of that, Europe is nothing but rubbles. All the so-called things that Cecil B. DeMille showed us in all of his movies, they don't look like that.
Oh, wow.
They're falling apart. The big cities look just like American cities. They just speak a different language.
Okay. So
Every time I travel,
Mhm.
and I travel to quite a few different places, the first thing I do, every time, okay, where I go, is I'll ask wherever I'm staying, I ask the concierge, where do my people live?
wow.
Mm.
Wow.
First thing I do is I want to see where the people live.
Mhm.
People, all that, everything else, you're going to see that anyway. Because most of the time when you travel, you say you want to do this, but you get caught up doing something else. You never get a chance to see that. So I always like to see where the real people live, because the real people are the backbone of the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Where do they live? How do they live? How do they eat? What do they talk about? What do they do? See, because everything else you can read, but they don't always show you where the people live, do they?
That's
They,
true.
they don't. They don't. So you're more interested in the culture.
Yeah, that's the culture.
Mhm.
So I always want to see how do people do what they do?
Okay.
Because everything else is the same old thing.
Hmm.
They
Yeah.
speak a different language.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That is true.
So that's when I travel. That's what I do. Even when I go to different cities in America.
Hmm.
Where the hood is, because I grew up in the hood. Because I wanted to see the difference. I got a new series that's going to come out shortly on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, Gentleman Jim, Master Tailor. It's called The Streets of New York in Black and White.
Wow.
I'm going to tell the real story of what the streets of New York were really like. But I ain't holding back no thing, meaning nothing. I'm going to tell how people live growing up in New York City. Black, white, Spanish, because I had a chance growing up to visit and to live in different areas. New York is a very prejudiced city.
Really?
Very prejudiced. It was then, it still is.
Wow. Wow.
But people don't look at it. You always think about the prejudice part of life as being in the South.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not true.
Hmm. Hmm.
Not true. I have a story that I did for National Public Radio, NPR, many, many years ago. It's still airing that story. It's about a brother from Harlem going south every summer with my grandmother. not knowing what the real deal about going south and what the South is about.
Wow.
Because our elders would not talk too much about what they went through, being persecuted in the South. It was all, shh, we don't talk about that.
Wow.
But yet it was real.
Yeah.
See, the embarrassment, and I don't know why it was an embarrassment, to share that information with us, I could never figure out.
Wow.
So I'll share it. Every time I do a lot of public speaking, I always share that story.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Blows people away.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know you did a lot of public speaking. That was one thing I did not know.
Well, yeah.
Wow. I didn't know
I
that.
do public speaking. I do motivational things to young people.
Okay.
People are crazy people.
Well,
I do public speaking.
okay. So we gonna
Pulpits.
okay.
I went to ministerial school for 2.5 years.
Oh, see.
Not to become a preacher.
Okay.
I needed a better handle on what religions were about.
Mm-hmm.
I've studied all the religions. I've read all the different texts that they've had out there, because God is real to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know about the false prophets also.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I'm good preachers.
Yeah. See?
So one of
There's
our
a lot of
listeners,
and I'm not calling names, and I'm not saying that's everybody, but there's
Right.
enough. There's too many of them out there
Yeah. Yeah.
that lead people astray.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know.
We have
you have to know the truth for yourself.
2022, with a lot of people of authority still telling lies.
Wow. Yeah, you're right, Mr. Jim. Mr. Jim, we have a listener or viewer. Is it a question or a comment?
It's not a question. It's not a question. It's a statement. She said, "This is Lady. Hey, Lady." She said,
Hi,
"I truly
Lady.
understand. She made a balloon gown for a Halloween contest and won most original. She said the next thing she saw was a balloon suit on TV."
Wow.
Wow. Wow. Well, our time is almost up. So we're going to have Mr. Jim back. And when we have him back, what you say, Mr.
Sure, you ain't got to
He's
worry
gonna be
about
sharp.
that.
Uh-oh.
You going to be sharp,
Uh-oh.
Mr. Jim?
Sure.
Sharp. And then you're going to have some of the jackets you made so we can see them, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I
And
just
then-
got back in town.
Okay. And then I want you, go ahead. I'm sorry. Say it again.
Now, perfectly saying, I was trying to get back and get everything handled
Yeah.
before this.
Right.
But
I
I didn't.
understand. Yeah.
So if you'll take me unshaven.
Stop.
It's not what you say. It's
I
this.
take
right
you
here.
just the way you are.
It's
I
this.
take you the
What
way
say?
you are.
It's about this.
You see that picture you got of me in the background?
Yes.
That one.
That's you.
Sharp as
She
tack,
did
man.
that. She put you up there like that.
Look at
Yes.
Sharp.
Yes. So also, Mr. Jim, when you come back, I want you to share like some sewing tips too. Can you do that? Okay, cool. Cool,
And,
cool, cool.
like anything else, a lot of my tips are on the YouTube channel, the Tailor and the Dressmaker.
Okay.
But I can share them personally. But because I used to do seminars, a lot of seminars on things that go wrong in sewing and why.
Oh, okay,
wow.
huh? Wow. That'll be something good and interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Okay.
much for being on our show. We really enjoyed you, the
Yes.
stories, just
Really good. I love telling my stories.
Yeah.
Why?
Mhm.
First of all, they're good stories. That's number one. But I like to share with people what certain things were about.
Mhm.
And in doing that, I let people know who I am. Like you asked me about the name.
Right.
that's true.
That's right.
Thank
Exactly.
you so much. Thank
Yes,
you.
exactly. So yeah. So it was so good to have you on here, Mr. Jim. And we
Yes.
can't wait to get you back. We can't wait to get
Yes.
you back.
You did a wonderful job with our sister. She loves arts and crafty stuff and so on. We don't
I
have to
do.
So Thank you so much for tuning in. Someone said beautiful presentation,
All
sir.
right.
She enjoyed it. And we will see y'all next week on Chillin with the Girls, Friday at 6 o'clock. Tune in.
Yes.
Love you guys. Have a great weekend.
Okay.
All right.